Obviously, hitting the 3-year mark in the UK or anywhere in the diaspora is a really huge milestone, and I'll show you why in this video, and I'll tell you why as well that I thought, well, it's fitting that I come to you with this video, because I know it's been a few years since the launch of the health and care worker visa, which saw so many people, thousands and thousands of migrants flock to the UK on a health and care worker visa or on a senior care worker visa. And for those that did it earlier, they had the privilege of coming with their dependents, which is all the more reason why, if you fit in that category, then stick around for this video, because I'm going to be exploring some of the benefits that you get to access when you hit the 3-year mark. Why I thought I would speak about it is because I know we have spoken about the do's and don'ts of this health and care worker visa or any skilled worker visa, which is stipulated some of the things that you cannot do whilst on a skilled worker visa. And part and parcel of those things was accessing public funds. So I'm excited as I come to you today, because I'm going to talk about one of the things that you can now access 3 years into, or 3 years of consistent residence in this country. Then there are things that you'll then begin to access, guys. This is in terms of education, career progression, and many more things. So you do stay tuned, guys. And a big welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Florence. For those of you that are watching me for the first time, I moved to the UK over 2 years ago, coming up 3 years now. All the more reason why we are talking about this in this video. So it's been a journey, it's been a roller coaster, and on this platform we do talk about life in the diaspora, life abroad, whether in the UK or anywhere else. For as long as it's life in the diaspora, we do talk about it here. We share success journeys, we share opportunities, we share even the struggles. No wonder why, if you're watching this video and you've got a story to tell, your diaspora journey, your diaspora story, do reach out to us and we will be more than glad to have a chat with you. And guys, all the things that we share on this platform, disclaimer, are based on our experiences, our views, and those of our family and friends who do share their story and their journey with us. So in as much as we talk about all things here, go ahead and do your due diligence, and where you need professional advice, professional input, please do go and consult with professionals. So guys, let's get right into it. So in this country, if you do reach a 3-year milestone in your journey, in your residence journey in the UK, and you're a migrant or you are an expatriate, whatever that you want to call yourself, obviously it's that time that you begin to think, okay, I'm nearly towards the time when I'll be able to apply for my indefinite leave to remain, which is another big milestone. But today it's about the 3-year mark. So what is it that one access in this country at the 3-year mark? I know there are other things that we access, other benefits, we've spoken about that, healthcare and all things, that's fair and fine. But obviously, you know, I love career progression. I love people that want to upskill and become better. So one of the things that you get to access when you reach the 3-year mark is the fact that you can now actually study or go to uni and pay domestic tuition or home fees. Why is this significant? It's because there's always a difference in terms of the tuition that people pay when they go to unis or go to any tertiary institutions. There's a stipulated tuition for British citizens or for people that are on indefinite leave to remain or that are citizens of the country. And there is a fees mark stipulated for international students. So in as much as you could move or relocate to this country on a skilled worker visa, if you decide to go to uni, if you decide to pursue the tertiary route or to study, whether part-time or full-time, you pay international fees, which is nearly like double. For most institutions, it's double what the home students would have to pay, which sometimes make it really impossible, or make it so dear on the pocket when you have to pay that much money, because this can get as much as like 15,000, 16, 18, depending on what you're studying and what institution you decide to go to. This is like, I'm talking about 12,000 to 18,000 pounds. So, I mean, who can afford that much? And this is per year. So again, depending on the duration of the course that you'll be studying, or duration of whatever program that you're studying, then that would mean like you're paying so much money towards just getting a qualification. So you'd realize that whenever somebody would ask like, oh, do you want to pursue tertiary education, or do you want to upgrade? It is nearly impossible in your first year, second year, and third year in this country. But after your third year in this country, then it's that time where you should begin to think like, okay, I can actually do this. If I have to pay an equivalent of what somebody who lives or who is a resident of this country can pay, that means it's possible, and it is possible. So if you're that person who is thinking, I want to study, I want to further my education, I want to start all over again, I want to change career in the near future, or I want to upgrade, then now is the time. And one thing that I always encourage people on this platform and everywhere else where I get the chance to speak and share my thoughts is to say, if you are thinking you want to study, if you're thinking you want to pursue career progression, you want to take on a course or upgrade or upskill, definitely there is no need for you to wait until you get the indefinite leave to remain. As soon as you hit the 3-year mark, just get the ball rolling. And this is not to say you can't do it maybe in your first year of relocating. If you do have the funds for it, the sooner you do it, the better. But why do I feel, or do I suggest that the 3-year mark is quite fair and practical, is the fact that probably if you're thinking you want to study in the long term, you begin to plan ahead, you begin to think about it in your first year. As soon as you get here, you know what you want, you're focused on your goal to say, I want to study, I want to upskill. And then you begin to save towards probably the home fees. Already you know, you've got an idea, okay, the uni I want to go to maybe will cost like 9,000 a year or 8,000 a year. So that's what I'm going to be working towards. So you begin to save. So that way it will not strain your pocket, because the bills will not wait. The bills will not even understand that you're saving for your uni or anything. So the 3 years gives you a bit of a cushion whereby you're saving, whereby you're settling in, you're finding your feet. And also one of the things why I always say it's ideal to do it on the 3-year mark, where you can, it's because you would have adjusted into your role, in whatever role that you are in whatever workplace that you are in, you found your feet, you've settled in, and then now you're thinking, okay, I want to upskill, I want to upgrade, which is fair enough. Because I've actually come across people that hit the ball running from day one, they enrolled, and then when they realize like how demanding that their job is, they're failing to cope, they're failing to manage the two, and in the end you don't want to end up like having one of them suffer, either your work suffering or your schoolwork lagging behind, or even you really like struggling to cope. So you have to plan for it. So again, guys, this answers one of the questions that I'm always asked to say, why did you move from domiciliary? It's not like I had anything against domiciliary. I loved what I did. I loved where I worked. But I was looking into career progression. I was looking into my future goals and what I wanted for myself, what I wanted for my career. So again, it's one of the things that if you're watching this video and you're a newbie, then just know 3 years is nothing, because I'm slowly approaching the 3-year mark now, and I'm just wondering, where has the time gone? Why did I mention that? Is because I say to myself, I want to get into an institution that will afford me maybe an opportunity for an apprenticeship. I know you're thinking, but where does that fit in? Again, we are talking the 3-year mark. Is that mark, or is that point where if you are working in an organization that has got like apprenticeship programs, then you become eligible? One of the things, I think I've shared this on one of my social platforms, where I've said wherever I go, the first question, if I don't ask it during my own onboarding process, I always ask it like in my first or second week. I always ask like, so what's there for me in terms of career progression? It's a very good question to ask, regardless of what industry you work in, regardless of whether you're working for the NHS or private sector, wherever, just ask that question. It's so important, because that way you will be able again to align your goals with what you're doing, your goals with the place where you work. So again, I asked that question, like, if I were to to enroll or to get into an apprenticeship, what does it take? Because I'm from abroad, I'm from overseas. And obviously that's when they highlighted to me that for you to be able to be eligible for an apprenticeship in this country, you need to have been a resident of this country for 3 years. So you see now why it's so important, the 3-year mark. If you are somebody who is focused on career progression and upgrading yourself, upscaling, then it's very, very important. So if you're thinking, I want to enroll in an apprenticeship, then on the 3-year mark, you become eligible. But then that doesn't mean like that's when you begin to put together everything that you need. Again, you need to ask well in advance what maybe your organization requires for you to have beforehand in order for you to be eligible for an apprenticeship. So do that, because these requirements do differ from one organization to another. And also, again, one of the things that you have to bear in mind, if you're going to pursue the study route, which is for most people anyway, you have to find out whether or not it will be a direct swap for your qualifications from wherever you come from. Does the uni just accept directly your qualifications, or you need to do maybe some pre-entry exams, or you have to do like your functional skills beforehand? So that's very, very important. Obviously, there will be other requirements. Like, I know if you're within the NHS, there is a list of requirements which do differ again from trust to trust for you to be able to access the apprenticeship. So it's very, very important that you find out. And while we're still talking on enrolling in an institution, tertiary education and apprenticeships, this does apply as well for one's dependents. Suppose you were fortunate enough to be able to bring your dependents when you relocated. When they do get to the 3-year mark, when they have been in the country for 3 years, 3-year residents in this country, they access the same benefits as you. They can go to uni, they can go to tertiary education and be able to pay the home fees. They can also enroll in an apprenticeship with whatever institution that they want to pursue. So it's very, very important that you sort out your goals, you align yourself, you are clear about what you want to do from day one. Even as a dependent, you position yourself, you begin to choose those jobs or those industries where there is that progression, where there is that facility. If you're thinking, I want to pursue an apprenticeship, join that organization that has got those programs, instead of you thinking then 3 years later, I'm now eligible, and then you start finding. Sometimes with these opportunities for apprenticeships, what organizations do is they obviously, there has to be a recommendation of your manager. They prioritize long-serving staff, obviously. So it's very, very important that you're already in the system, that you're already working towards probably getting good recommendation that will get you in. So guys, I think that's about everything that I had. Obviously, I know someone would ask me like, is our apprenticeship not classed as public funds? From my research, you can also do your own. From my research, apprenticeships are funded by the company and the government, so that's not classed as public funds. So no wonder why you can then access them on the 3-year mark. So guys, I know I cannot end this video without talking about, I know I spoke earlier when I started this video, I spoke about the indefinite leave to remain. Also on the 3-year mark, this is like indefinite leave to remain is on the 5-year mark on this journey. So 3 years, then it's that time again that you're thinking indefinite leave to remain is just right around the corner. So you begin to save towards it. Why did I mention that? It's because it's quite dear. I was actually checking as I was wanting to do this video, and I thought, well, I'll check how much that costs, so that, because we're talking tuition fees, if somebody is going to self-fund that tertiary education and be paying the home fees and be able to again think indefinite leave to remain, then these figures are important. For one person at the moment, this is January of 2025. At the moment, one person to apply for indefinite leave to remain, it's costing £2,885 per person. Now that's a lot of money, guys. Now that is a lot of money. So again, depending on the size of your family, we are a family of 4. So that's nearly £3,000. So that means like we need £12,000 for all of us to be able to apply. And again, we all came in the same year. So which means all this money we needed in the same year. So it's very, very important that one plans accordingly. One is so, you plan accordingly. Because again, you don't want one thing to suffer and then the other one. You don't want to say, well, I've started uni, I've paid fees for the first year, but in the second year I can't pay. I'm having to maybe pause my studies or maybe drop out, or you're now struggling to fund your application for indefinite leave to remain in this country. And guys, do bear in mind that that fees is non-refundable regardless of the outcome. You may not get it and still you will not get a refund. So plan accordingly. And guys, I promise you, I'm going to talk as well about indefinite leave to remain in our future videos, because it's another thing that I've been asked a lot. Because I mean, there are people, this health and care worker visa, which brought in so many people to the country, was launched in 2020 and this is 2025. So a lot of people are now eligible, are now due. So it's only good that we share on that, we reflect on that as we continue to forge those conversations around success, around what is it that we need to do for ourselves as migrants. So guys, I don't know where you're watching from, but put it in the comments so that we know. And if you've got anything that you want to see in our future videos, please guys, do put it in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. And guys, I cannot thank you enough for all your support and for all your love, for your subscription. Guys, I thank you so much. And if you've been watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit the subscription button, and also don't forget to put on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. Guys, we thank you and we value you. So I'll see you in our next video, guys. Thank you.